call the benevolent beings of light, archangels, and ascended masters to guide and inspire us during this forum. Our forum's vision is to bring the understanding, tools, discipline, and support for those seeking to enter the straight and narrow path, the road less traveled, that will lead us along effectively and steadily through the ascension process. Integration of the human experience with our divine origin is moving us full circle to achieve our divine potential. So be it. Amen.
Now, the quote tonight is a chart, and I'm not going to read it. You guys can read it yourself. And if you want a copy of it, I'll send it to you. It's about the things we can control in our life. And at the bottom, it shows the things that we cannot control. Well, let's go over it. Things that are in my control: the amount of effort I put in, my words, my actions, how I treat others, whether or not I follow rules, how I handle my feelings, my decisions, how I take care of myself. These are the things you can control. The things outside of your control is what other people do, things from the past, the people's choices, what other people say, how other people feel, and you can't even control the weather. Well, some people can. But anyway, if you want that chart, I'll send it to you. Okay. Your light body. There's so many levels of this that we're going to discuss this evening. And first, we'll reflect with what's happening with our needs for certain foods that we really didn't think about before. In my personal life, I noticed that if I eat like I used to, 3 heavy meals a day, I don't feel well. I feel sluggish. I can't really concentrate. I'm always feeling my physical body working hard to digest. But it's very important for you to understand that it is not for you to force anything. If you're craving to have something, have it. You want the taste. You want to enjoy the sweetness of it, or whatever it is. If it's meat, you want to feel and taste that density, that heavy, nice, delicious meat. There's nothing wrong with meat. It isn't unspiritual. It's just that the body, as it's changing, really needs to have lighter elements coming into the digestive system so that it doesn't have to work so hard and take up so much of our energy. When our bodies are working so hard to lift itself to match the frequency of our consciousness that we keep changing and shifting in as we go through the experiences that life brings us each day. When you try to force anything, force your spirituality, your kundalini, your opening of your pineal gland, or to force a diet that is not sustaining you well, you're not going to feel well. You're not going to. And you can't force anything. It has to happen naturally and gently. So if you change your diet, do it gently. Don't take everything out all at once, but introduce very healthy foods. Your body will feel good if it eats seasonally. So wherever you are, whatever the seasonal growth is in fruits and vegetables should be what you would add to your diet. And I have actually practiced this for at least 30 years. And it is very good for you because it's in a natural rhythm with your environment. If you find yourself like the snowbirds, where you're going back and forth from a very cold climate to a very warm climate. Once you adjust to the different climate, start eating the foods that are available there. It takes about a week for the shift to happen. Some people go for a week and come back, so just do the best you can. But if you're going to stay for an extended period in another place, go with the foods that are, very available to you, and not try to eat like you would if you were in your normal home state. And that's what I did when I was a snowbird. So as far as diet's concerned, it's so important for us to do everything in a way that is bringing us joy, just like every other event in our life. If you're doing things because you have to, it isn't pleasant to you. It doesn't make you happy or joyful or in any way satisfied. So be loving and caring. If you have favorite foods and you want to eat them, if they are on the side of being a little on the unhealthy side because of all the sugar in it or the heaviness of it, do everything like Jesus said, in moderation. Moderation is the key. And eventually your body will shift more, and you will very lovingly and gently be able to even shift further into a much lighter diet. And your beverages will become much purer. I truly do not believe in all those flavored waters that they call water. It tastes very sweet and unnaturally sweet. So, but that's just how I feel about it. Just pure water, a little bit of lemon in it if you enjoy lemon. Very good for digestion and for keeping yourself alkaline rather than acid-based. Very, very nice transition. So also about the water. Coffee is coffee. Water is water. Oh, but my husband says it's made from water. Yes, but it's different how it processes in the body. Fruit juices are tremendously sweet. So just be cognizant of that. Rather than juicing, I think eating the fruit in its natural state turns out to be much healthier because of the different nutrition that's in the skin, under the skin, in the body of the fruit or vegetable. So this is things that you take into consideration. Also cooking. Now, I'm not saying to go to a raw diet. I don't eat a raw diet, but it's very good to have raw vegetables and cooked vegetables, such as a salad, and then have cooked vegetables with whatever else your protein would be with a meal. So it's a very balanced way of eating. Grains are good if they are comfortable for you. Most grains are not comfortable for me. So find what works for you. Don't be trendy and just follow what everybody else does with certain grains because they're ancient or whatever it is. If your body doesn't naturally adapt to it or it causes digestive discomfort, I would highly suggest you don't force your body to try to process something that it's not comfortable with. So then we'll move now from food to the light body's needs emotionally and mentally. Harmony and balance, as the film was telling us, is what keeps everything running smooth and running well, helping with the ascension process so that we can continually be moving up. You don't want to stagnate. You don't want to go down into a denser energy. It's very painful to go backwards. That's why you always look ahead and move ahead and desire to move ahead. And yet you're not going to try to force things. You're just going to move with what comes naturally in your day. Your higher self knows what's written for the day, and it's just up to us to get going and get out there and do what it is that we're supposed to do and be where we're supposed to be. You don't have to worry about it. You'll naturally be where you need to be because you can't be anyplace else. You can't. People worry, was I supposed to be there? Was I supposed to go? Was I? I said, did you? They go, no. I said, then you weren't. You weren't. And even if there was an opportunity there for growth or for joy or whatever, it'll happen again. You'll have another opportunity. But if inside your gut, you get this impulse that you should go, go. Go see what's there for you. Don't resist life. Don't fight it. I had to learn that slowly but surely. When we try to control everything, we're out of control. Remember the little chart, the things you can control? And the rest of it, just leave it alone. Everything will happen according to how it's written, according to what our mission is of the day and the overall mission, according to the contracts we have with other people. I didn't know I would get to speak to certain people that and find the conversation so comfortable and wonderful. I don't know who I'm going to be on the phone with or who I'm going to meet when I'm out. I just go with the anticipation of joy and wonder. Come to me unto me as children, not childish, but innocent and with wonder in your eyes and excitement about the journey. Who am I going to meet? What's going to happen today? This is all part of keeping yourself in a state of harmony and balance. If you are living a life of moderation in all things, you won't have extremes, which causes emotional problems, anxiety, and worry, and overwhelmed. You don't need that in your life. You weren't meant to have that. We do that to ourselves for whatever reasons, whatever we're trying to satisfy within ourselves, in our minds. But here you are in this human body, a lot of work. But as it said in the video, it's a very important part helping us to ascend, taking this body with us. So the chakra system was set up so that it could control certain aspects, keeping this energy from different aspects of our life and our emotions and our the way we operate in each of the chakras. Keeping them spinning is something that you can do a meditation on if you're feeling out of sorts, and just consciously see each one spinning and open it up and get it going. If you feel sluggish, if you have pain in your groin or in your lower belly or above your belly, in your solar plexus, maybe it's because there's energy that's stuck, because that's usually what it is. Our chakra system is made to operate. So it's not like you have to kickstart it or start it at all. It's working. But there's certain layers that are going to come up from the different chakras, starting from the root all the way up to the crown. That is going to be coming up for our day to look at, to deal with. And so if you send it back down again, you're putting it back into the energy in that area of your body, rather than letting it go and having it freed up. This also you don't force. You go by how you feel emotionally, mentally. If you're feeling out of sorts, there's a reason for it. And it's not outside you. That's just the mirror of what's going on inside. So whatever you're feeling when you're out, or even in your home and things happen there, deal with it. Deal with how you feel. If you're joyful, celebrate it and embrace it. And if you're not, deal with what it is and ask yourself. I was on working with somebody the other day, and it's like the person kept saying, I don't know why this happens. And I said, yes, you do. Yes, you do. Go back to a situation where you were actually in it and you were disturbed. And so the person did that and realized what it was. You have all the answers because they come from inside you. So to create balance and harmony within yourself, use the signals that you're getting from outside to know what's going on inside. You see, you don't have to guess this out. Everything outside you is mirroring what's going on inside. That's why I suggest you keep focusing on your life right in front of you, because your higher self brings to you what you need. You don't need to go seeking it elsewhere and get involved with other people's drama and their lives and all of that. Yes, you do help your friends. Yes, you do. And your family. That is true. But you don't have to bring the drama into it. You do what you feel in your heart to do, and then you come back to your world. Your world's busy enough. So our light body works on many different levels. Each of our chakras are vibrating at a different frequency. Everything in your body is. And what we're trying to accomplish in our life is to bring everything into a certain harmony, a certain tune, which is our heart song on the human level, which is going to eventually harmonize to our actual, it's like a homing device to our higher self. And once we have those two synchronized, we have reached an ascended state, a very high ascended state. There was a little girl that was very sick. She had written a story about the heart song that she heard. And the UN, friends from the UN, from the Peace Department, having to do with religions of the world, adopted that book and had it printed for her. She did pass away, the little girl, but the story lives on. It was about the heart song. And there's a beautiful sound connected to everything. And when it's out of tune, just like an instrument, it sounds pretty awful. And that can cause your energy field to become an irritant to other people. Have you ever been with anybody that you just can't stand just even being in their energy field? It is so uncomfortable. Well, that's what it is. They're so out of harmony that it's causing that irritation to be anywhere near their fields, or even inside it, it's even more uncomfortable. So our light body serves us also to travel when we're sleeping. Our soul, our personality goes with it, and we can travel into the inner planes because we have worked there as well. We're multidimensional beings. So we're not limited to just staying here where our bodies live. So our light bodies are very handy dandy to take us where we want to go and what we've signed up to do. And we look just exactly like we do right now. So people on the other side will recognize you. Also, those that are sleeping and traveling in the inner planes will recognize you. Yeah. And when you first get into a 5D environment, you will look exactly the way you are, no matter how light or dense your body is. Yep. So the light body also, when you look at the entire Merkaba around us, all the bodies are a different color. The mental body is yellow. That's how I see it. The emotional body is blue. And the light body is brilliant Christ white. And the etheric double, that is. So when people see you on the other side, you are a streaming white light. Gregory had sent a picture of the sun where the sky must have been very filled with moisture, showing the radiance of the sun in rays coming out of it. It was absolutely stunning. It was coming out both sides of the globe. It was so beautiful to observe. And when you think about it, that's what we are, this brilliant, beautiful Merkabah filled with white Christ radiance. That's what we are. And if you ever noticed in the corners of your eyes, like when you're ready to go to sleep, all of a sudden you'll see a bright light and you'll say, whoa, what was that? Well, you were actually seeing your light body inside you for a split second in your peripheral vision. Yeah. Speaking of which, it's very interesting to see as you're progressing further and further and lifting into a higher frequency, you're going to start seeing out of your peripheral vision into other planes, even during the day while you're actively in your body and consciousness. And it at first you keep thinking you're seeing things, but then you start realizing you're actually seeing into another dimension. You'll see a being standing there that isn't physically standing there because they're in another dimension, watching over you, protecting you, whatever the case may be, working with you in some way. So your light body has so much to it. It is the eternal part of you. It will continue to grow in light and love, carrying that, and that your soul lives inside there. And that is God actually learning through our experiences to expand its understanding of energy and light. Because if it's not manifest into something, like when the earth first started, it wasn't anything but darkness and potential energy. And that's how God learns, is through sending us in with God energy, light, love, and wisdom inside us, especially the love, and experiencing life individually, all of us a part of God, bringing different experiences, different responses, different missions accomplished, all of that through our light body. It is miraculous if you see yourself in the various bodies that you're actually encompassed in the Merkabah, and then you have these bodies that are on other dimensions all the way up, as far as you've gone, actually operating at the same time. God is unlimited. And because we come from that source, that prime creator, we are God on the ground. We are. Do we act like it all the time? No. Do we hold true to it or even believe it completely? That's up to you. I do believe it, because when I ask my higher self for help, I can do anything I need to do. When I don't, I'm limited to my brain and my idea that I can accomplish this all on my own. I had to prove that to myself. It wasn't true. You are unlimited because of the light that's in you, that animates you. Your light body is actually not separate from anybody else. It's just we took on bodies so that we could operate here in 3D, 4D. Once you get to the higher 5s, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10s, you don't have to have any form at all. Or you can form a form. You can do whatever you want to do. But you will be in a light body still. This light body that's been designated to you. That's your body to take forever, for eternity. Yes, you can take on different personas. You can take on different forms, but it's still your light body. Same one. You can stretch it taller or make it shorter, make it wider or make it thinner, but it's still your energy body. It's not confined like it is when you're in a physical body. And when you are liberated from the physical form, the feeling is hard to even describe. I only had an experience where I actually consciously experienced what it feels like. You don't want to go back into the body after that. So this is our opportunity. This graduation that we're working towards, this magnificent ascension, will liberate us from having to have a physical body again, unless we choose to. Now, because we're bringing 5D to this planet, at first we will need our bodies, but then our bodies will become light bodies and we won't even really realize it. It'll just be happening naturally because of the love that we become and the vibration that we reach, that frequency that is so high, completely in harmony and balance within our fields. And if we even move one increment from it, it shows up in your fields. It shows up as a color that isn't exactly what I would call beautiful. But it will get there. We'll all get there. We just have to practice and keep working. Our light bodies are coming into play. We don't have to force anything. It's going to happen. But help it along with our diet, with everything, the hydration, with our lifestyle, with our emotional conditions, our mental conditions, staying at a drama that doesn't belong to us, doing the things that bring us joy, having a voice, feeling confident in ourselves, forgiving ourselves, loving ourselves, and everybody else. What is the sense of holding on to anything that's outside of love? All it does is drag you down. So you want that beautiful light body of yours to continue to shine so well, so vibrant, so beautiful. That's who you really are. You're not the body. Although it is an integral part of you right now, you're not the body. And that body will transform itself into that light body until it's not even discernible anymore as solid. And it's okay, because you'll still be as you always were, and you always will be. Your light body. It's a beautiful thing. So much easier once we turn into the light body fully, so we don't have to be messing with this physical body anymore. But the physical body had a really big part in all of this ascension process. From your questions and the answers that were given to us, you realize that everything that's going on physically, mentally, emotionally, this is all coming together so beautifully for us to evolve into our potential. That's what it's all about. All the little incidentals of our life, what we did, what our career was, where we found ourselves and all the little problems that we had and the big problems that we had. Everything was all about development, to see how we respond to an action or an event or whatever happened, so that we could learn to control our energy, because that's the biggest thing, so that we can get back our gifts and talents and be able to use all of the gifts, manifesting as we think of something, bilocating consciously, all the things that we can actually do. Driving in a car is a little tiring, but to be able to just think of where you want to be and be there, now you're talking. That's what we can really do. So we're at a point now that we have to really be conscious of how we act, how we react, why we do it, and correct it into proper responses. And when we can be trusted not to be blowing a hoolie or being out of sorts or misusing energy, then we'll be getting back our gifts and abilities, which we are so wanting, but we can't have until we're responsible enough, because we could blow up something in front of us that we target. And I saw this with my own eyes. I was at a retreat, not a retreat. I was at a conference. A spiritual group was there, about 150 people, maybe. Everybody was really, really, working on themselves and getting somewhere. And somebody did something that upset me. And I turned away from the person, and my anger came out as a red beam from my forehead and slammed into the stage where the podium was. And the guy that was running the thing, he jumped back in shock. And he pointed at me, and I went, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I never saw anything like that before. And I didn't know that when you're angry or out of sorts, that you can actually hurt somebody with that ray. So you really want to make sure that you're not doing that anymore. So your light body will serve you very well for the rest of your existence, which is forever. And what we discussed here tonight is about us taking all the steps we need to actually step out of the way and let our life unfold. Let our life do what it was meant to do for us, show us what it needed to show us, help us to have opportunities to make choices. Sometimes we make choices that really don't work out too well, and we struggle. And we find that we're really not happy with our choices. We can change our mind at any time. And when you make up your mind and you stick to it, you will find that you will not have the same problems anymore, and life will go back to normal. It will calm down and be peaceful. But those are the choices we make. And when we make good choices by just following what we naturally would do in our life and get out of the way of trying to control it, you're going to find it's going to get easier and easier. And you're going to start to say to yourself, now that I'm not so bossy about everything and having to have it my way, life really has gotten easier. I feel more content. I don't got to do like I used to do, because I'm not a doing anymore. I'm a being. And whatever I do get involved in, it's because it's joyful to me. It's important to everything about me. And I save my energy for that. I don't waste it anymore, running around and trying to please everybody in the world. Don't do it. It drains you. You're exhausted mentally, emotionally, and then it affects you physically, because everything going on inside is what affects your physical body eventually. It manifests itself. The joy of being a light being is what you're seeking. The two things that everybody over all the years that I've been doing this work has said to me is, I want peace and I want love. They want to find peace in their life and they want love. So guess what? When you find that inside yourself, when you take out everything that is the antithesis of what you're wishing for outside, then you'll have what you're wanting and desiring the most. The peace that passes understanding, no matter what your circumstances are. And the love. Love is everything. Not earthly love. Not that. Real love. Honor, integrity, respect. It's all involved in that love. But it starts with you loving yourself. Once you're at peace with yourself, once you love yourself and forgave yourself for everything that you know you've ever done or thought or didn't do, that love will just become everything in you. You will become love. You won't just give it or receive it. You'll become it. No longer will you have needs that tie you to the 3D world. You'll be free. And freedom is everything. But it doesn't come from outside you. It comes from inside you. You can be incarcerated and be free. Everything is inside. Your whole world that you're building is inside you. And if your world outside you does not reflect what you want in your world, then make changes. Make changes in your life until it does reflect it. And you will be free. And you will be joy. And you will be love. Surround yourself with your joy. And you will become it. So your light being, your whole body, your light body is filled with light. What color is it, is the question. When you're done, it is radiant Christ light. It is white, sparkling white with flecks of color, pinks and blues and greens, all pastel. You are so beautiful in that body. And that is who you are. It's your signature, just like your heart tone is your signature. The tone that fills your body and connects you to your higher self. You become a harmonious love bug, and that's what you are. So you keep working at it. Keep wanting it. Keep loving yourself, and you'll get there. You'll get there gently, but you'll get there. If it's not fast enough for you, change your mind. Because until you have the things that you need to do, and it isn't always just karmic ties, it's a lot of other things too. knowledge through experience. When we get over ourselves and our old patterns and let it go, then we're free. And everything that you ever wished that you could do will happen. God bless you. Thank you so much for listening.
We are deeply grateful for this forum. We thank those in attendance for your attention, for your wonderful questions, future topic suggestions, and stories that touched our hearts and opened our minds to new possibilities. Our collective energy has filled this forum with light and love for each other. We are so grateful that each of us brings guides and angelic beings to the forum, raising the frequency ever higher. We are grateful for the assistance, inspiration, and guidance from the benevolent beings overseeing the forum. Know we are all deeply loved and richly blessed. Amen.